Today the idea was to start on the hymns section for the raising of incense. Before we do that, I just want to do a quick review of everything we've taken so far. So I'm gonna depend on you guys to like answer quickly and صحصحوا معايا كده so we can move along. So first thing in raising of incense, after Abuna opens the curtain, what happens? Prayer of thanksgiving. Thank you very much. So prayer of thanksgiving, and then after the prayer of thanksgiving,
Litany.
there's something before.
The censer is brought to Abuna,
Yes?
and
He puts three censers,
Okay.
like bukur.
So you offer the censer, right? You said you lift up this little link here, right? And you always offer it on the right hand side of the altar, right?
Yeah.
So you offer the censer, Abuna puts incense, and then there's the prayer of incense to the sun. The deacon does what? Deacon serving inside does what?
Holds
During the prayer of
cross,
incense for the sun.
just the cross and goes around.
Just the cross, he's going around and he's answering.
In his head.
Yes, he's answering inaudibly the litanies of the prayer of the incense to the sun, right? The prayer for the peace, the fathers, and the assemblies. Meshi? While they're doing that, what are the deacons doing outside, or what is the congregation chanting?
that's verses of Cymbals.
Verses of Cymbals, right? After the verses of Cymbals, we have
Litanies.
litanies. Now, someone else other than Jacob. Litanies. What's every single day evening raising of incense?
Departed.
Departed. And then which morning has litany of the departed?
Saturday.
Saturday. Thank you very much. And then Sundays,
Sick and oblations.
sick and oblations, and that also applies to feasts. Monday to Friday,
Sick and travelers.
travelers. Very good. Everyone's clear on that?
Jace.
After the litanies, we have,
The Trisagion.
before that,
Creed.
no. Creed is,
Oh, no,
Later
no,
on.
sure.
yes. So what do you have? So graciously before the Lord is what? Where do we find this?
Tomorrow?
In the
Agbeya?
12th hour.
In the
12th hour of Agbeya.
12th hour of Agbeya. What is it? It is found in compline. What is it? What is it within compline?
Oh, it's
What's the title of this section? The first absolution,
absolutely.
right? So prime and compline have two absolutions, right? The first absolution in compline is right after the litanies. So this is the first absolution. And after the first absolution, you have the Trisagion, Our Father, and then doxologies. And then the intro to the doxologies, we said this is what we have in Agbeya, labeled as intercession of the most holy Theotokos. Hail to you, we ask you, saint full of glory, right? You have this as the intro, and then you have the doxologies. After the doxologies, you have what?
Intro to Creed.
Intro to the creed, and then the creed.
No
And-
cheating.
Sorry?
No more cheating.
No. And then what does the deacon inside do?
He gives the Sharia with
No.
the cross and the
And the three candles.
Yeah.
Right? Cross and the three candles. And then Abuna does what?
99.
If no Tinaina. Right? I feel like I lost everyone. Are you guys keeping up with me, or you guys are lost?
No, we're good.
You guys are with me?
Yeah.
Yes, Musasa?
I
So if no Tinaina, right? So Abuna stands with the three crosses, he does if no Tinaina. After he finishes if no Tinaina, then what?
Litany of the Gospel.
The litany of the gospel. So towards the end of if no Tinaina, the deacon brings to him this way. So after if no Tinaina, the deacon brings
The Sharia and
the censer and the incense, right? So he gives it to Abuna, right?
Doesn't go on for the gospel?
So he has to give him the censer and the incense first. And he takes from Abuna the candles, right? So he takes from the candles, he gives them the censer and the incense. Then after that, he takes what? Just the cross?
The cross and the gospel.
The cross and the gospel. Right? And then he goes out and stands behind the Abuna for the litany of the gospel. Right? And then when he comes inside, after the litany of the gospel,
He gives Abuna the gospel.
he gives Abuna the gospel.
They're holding it together, they go around, and then Stasite.
So you're holding it like this. Abuna is holding the gospel, you're holding the cross. You go around, you let go of the gospel because Abuna is going to take it, and then you continue your circuit, and then you come and stand on this side, and you say Stasite.
That's what I wanted to understand. When you say Stasite, it's supposed to be on the right side.
This side.
Where-
Yes, exactly. Like if I'm inside, it's on this side here.
Does it matter if you're not? Or
Yes, it matters.
It matters?
You need to be on this side.
Okay, because our church. Okay.
Okay? Listen. I'll tell you something. What's important for you as a deacon is to know what is correct. That's number one. Okay? You know what is correct. So if no one tells you anything, if no one guides you differently, well then you do what is correct and what you know to be correct. Okay? If for whatever reason in the world, and the reason really doesn't matter much, in whatever church you're in, they do it differently for whatever reason it is, then follow. Right? If you guys remember the first class, we talked about the spirit of obedience and submission, which is the first rule of deaconship. So like the obedience and submission really trumps any other of this stuff that we're talking about. So we're just teaching like what is correct. Like for example, to this day, there's still many churches that every round of incense, like they do gospel and cross, although the correct is just the cross. So if in the church, like if no one says anything, then do what is correct. If they tell you no, take the gospel and the cross, khalas, take the gospel and the cross and do it. Like we're not gonna like, we don't need to make wars for this stuff. You understand what I mean? So we said if not 99 and then the litany of the gospel, deacon says Stasite, and then we have the reading of the gospel. After the reading of the gospel, then we have what?
The conclusion hymn.
The conclusion or
The
5 short litanies?
the 5 short litanies. What are the 5 litanies?
Any of the party?
No. Departed is the main one.
Oh yeah.
litany of the peace,
Peace,
place,
before place.
Fathers.
Fathers,
meetings,
Ibtimaat.
if the patriarch that if we're between
That's the-
Yes,
patriarchs,
that falls within fathers.
Okay.
So litany fathers. Peace fathers.
place.
Place,
Seeds, herbs.
seeds, herbs, plants, and then the assemblies. Okay, so those are the 5 litanies. In 99.9% of cases, they're said inaudibly. Sometimes they're said audibly. Actually, this last Saturday, Sayyidina was praying with us, and he said them out loud. Right? But again, it's important for you as the deacon to be prepared, so that if after the gospel response of Vespers, Abuna says Shlil, well then you're not shaken. You know exactly where he's headed. He's going to say the litanies. You understand? There was even, just to show you like how you need to be like on your feet, there was even a time where I told you guys, like I had made the mistake last time about saying the 3 great litanies. The 3 great litanies, this is actually after the gospel response in liturgy, in the actual liturgy of the believers. There was a time where Abuna was, because of the whole COVID situation, he decided to say only the litany of the assemblies. Kind of like praying to God that he would restore like the assemblies of the church. So this is just an example to show you how you need to be on your feet and be very alert to what Abuna is saying. You understand? So for example, if he starts to say Shlil and then like you're expecting he's going to say the litanies, but then he says, "Oh Lord, remember our assemblies, bless them," well then you know, because you know what the 3 litanies are, you know he's already skipped to the last one, so you move with him. You understand what I mean? So then so we said the gospel response, and then the 5 short litanies, and then conclusion. Right? Which ends with like the absolution outside. And then we said with the absolution, the deacon who is serving inside needs to locate the gospel. And he has to have it, because as soon as Abuna is done with the absolution, he needs to give it to him, and then Abuna takes it, and then with the cross, everyone takes the blessing. Meshi? About the readings, right? We had went through like the very comprehensive understanding of the readings. The only thing I wanted to add to the readings is that it was implied in what I said that the readings, especially the weekdays, we said that they're connected to the saint of the day.
Yeah.
You guys remember that part? So they're connected to the saint of the day. So obviously, whenever a patriarch departs, you're reading the same readings. So the readings are repeated. This is important. Why? Because in a lot of the books, if not all of the books, whenever if you're the deacon who's going to prepare the katamaros, and we talked about what katameros means. It means according to the day. If you're preparing it, for example, today it's what, the 19th? Is it 19th day today of Hatur?
Yesterday it was 18, yeah, 19.
So today's the 19th. So if today's the 19th day of Hatur, there's a chance that when you open up to the 19th day, you're not going to find readings for the 19th day of Hatur. Because it's going to be taken from another day. So in some books, if you go to the table of content, it has all of the days listed, and then you go to the 19th day of Hatur, is going to tell you, refer to the readings of like the 3rd of Baramhat, for example. I'm saying anything, right? So it's going to tell you which day to refer to. And the Arabic one, for example, the Arabic Katamaras, and some English ones could be like in that same format. Like for example, it'll show you like the readings of like the 1st of Tut, and then it'll tell you just like titles. Like 2nd day of Tut, refer to the readings of this, 3rd day of Tut, readings of this, 4th day of Tut, readings of this, and then the 5th day of Tut, it'll show you like a full set of readings. So for every set of readings, you have like the original like day, and then you have all of the days that copy that day. You understand? This is just an FYI for you when you're preparing. If you're preparing the book, you know how to flip through the book.
Oh, so we don't have to know like by heart every day.
No, it's written in the book. Right? But you just need to understand the concept that the readings are repeated. So if you're looking for like the 13th day of Baramhat and you're not finding it, as you're flipping, it's because you need to go to the table of content and find the day that it's copying.
Okay.
You understand what I mean? It's very important for you to make that link. And also, if you're the deacon who's going to read, if you know, for example, it's the 13th day of Baramhat, but you're seeing the title is like the 5th day of Abib, well, you don't flip out either. You understand that it was copied. Because we've seen that mistake too, where the deacon says, no, today is not the 5th day of Abib, it's the 13th day of Baramhat. Yes, but like the readings copy each other. You understand? And then we went through the Sundays readings. How are they connected together? Like the theme of the Sundays. And then we went through the 5 volumes of the Katameros. So I'm not going to go through them again. There's the previous lectures if you guys want to review them. Meshi? Please, the whole structure of raising of incense, I would like strongly advise for 2 things. Like just for the sake that this meeting would have fruit. One, I know now it's a bit tough to like attend like every single time, but inshallah when things get back to normal as soon as possible, attend as often as possible. It's one thing for me to tell you guys just like study the notes, look at the videos and you'll be fine. It's not going to be enough. Nothing will teach you raising of incense like attending raising of incense. And nothing will make you fall in love with raising of incense as attending raising of incense. Yes, it helps to understand what's going on in life, but attend it. What we do here, and I don't want to go on a sidetrack too much, but what we do here, the liturgy is meant to be lived. It's not just a show. It's not just a set of rituals we're checking off in a box. This is a life. We live a liturgical life. Our entire Christian lives revolves around the altar and everything that goes on here. Like, you know, the new priest when he's ordained and he spends his 40 days in the monastery, one of the advices that he gives them, he tells them, Abuna, don't you dare complain to anyone in the world except the altar. The altar is where all your solutions lie. If this is said to the new priest, it needs to be true for us as well. That we believe in the power of the altar, that the altar solves problems, the altar changes lives. And the altar is what grips us and like plugs us into the tree of life, which is Christ. So what we're studying here, yes, it's theoretical, but without the practical, this is a complete waste of time. You understand? So now we're going to go to the hymns or the basic responses of raising of incense. We're going to start with verses of Cymbals, I want you to go to verses of Cymbals of Saturday. Okay.
Hey, it's sure.
No problems. So we're going to go to verses of Cymbals. And here I'm just going to select the date to be Saturday. Let's see.
Is there a difference when you change the time, like Saturday, but like 5 p.m. from?
Yes, so there's a setting. Okay, so also part of the readings, the reading system, is that the readings that are included in every day, it's Vespers, right?
Yeah.
So the night before, Vespers, you have a Psalm and a Gospel. And then Matins, you have Psalm and a Gospel.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Pauline, Catholic, Acts, Synaxarium is in a separate book, and Psalm and Gospel, right?
Yeah.
So again, for the Catameros itself, you have Psalm and Gospel of Vespers, and then you have Psalm and Gospel of Matins, then you have Pauline Catholic Acts,
For the liturgy.
yes, and Psalm and Gospel of the liturgy.
Okay.
These are all of the readings in the Catameros. So that means that if you're coming to prepare for Saturday night Vespers, well, you're looking at the readings of Sunday, because the readings of Sunday will include the Vespers, which is of the night before.
Oh, okay.
So that's something also very important for you to understand. Whenever you're coming to attend Vespers, you open up to the readings of the following day.
Okay.
Because the readings of the following day include Vespers, which is from the night before.
Alright.
Which also tells you something, is that Saturday night and Sunday morning,
It's a preparation.
that's one ceremony. It's not like Vespers is for someone and then liturgy is for someone else. This is one. Right? It's one group and all of the readings are found within one day. So that's why Saturday night is the readings of Sunday. Meshi?
Sorry, wait. How come the Psalm and Gospel of Matins is different than the Psalm and Gospel of the liturgy if it's the same day? Like, or is it like? Is that a dumb question?
No, I mean there's several different reasons why that can be. And in some occasions, like in some feasts, you'll have, let's say, the same story of like the feast that's in several gospels. So sometimes Matins will be a certain gospel, or like the story from a certain gospel, and then liturgy will be from like another gospel. You also have in a lot of the Matins gospels, when we celebrate the resurrection of Christ, this is on Easter Sunday. You guys know that we celebrate the resurrection for 50 days. And after that, we commemorate the resurrection on every Sunday. This commemoration of the resurrection on Sundays continues all the way until the end of the month that we're in now, which is the month of Hatur, right? So let's put it in the months that we're used to. Easter is in like April-ish, right? So we celebrate for 50 days. That brings us to end of May, beginning of June-ish, right? And then every Sunday from the beginning of June until the end of November or mid-December, every Sunday is the commemoration of the resurrection. Right? So this is why you're going to find in Matins, throughout that entire period, is the gospel of the resurrection. So, yes. Yes. So even though you have, like we said last time, the Sundays have their own themes together. So the Sundays maintain the theme within the gospel liturgy, but the Matins still continues on that theme of the resurrection. This is for this period. And the other occasions, it has its own, bardo, it still has its own reading, even if it's not a reading of the resurrection. But it's just to give you an example of its purpose, yeah, or what it can serve. You understand?
Yeah. Okay.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I was just curious about like where, like the readings of the Matins, we get them from what like volume? Because for the Sunday it would be like the annual Sundays, right? And then like the Matins would be the
No, but the annual Sundays, for example, like the third Sunday of Hatur,
right,
has Vespers, Matins, Pauline, Catholic Epistle, Acts, and Gospel.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
It's one set of readings for the entire day.
Got it.
So it all follows that same pattern.
Good.
Mission?
Yeah.
Yes.
But, sorry, just to build up on that. So let's say we're doing Vespers Saturday night. We're using the readings from Sunday.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So if you open up the readings of the third Sunday of Hatur, the first reading you're going to find is Vespers, which is prayed Saturday night. You understand?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing for any weekday. You understand?
Yeah.
So for example, if we were going to pray Vespers tonight,
Mhm.
well, you'd open not from the Sunday Katamaros,
Monday.
Monday.
you open from the weekday one.
Okay.
And you open it on the date of Monday, then the first reading you're going to find is Vespers,
Vespers.
which you would be praying tonight. You understand?
Mhm.
There's exceptions to this rule. I don't want to get to it right now, but when we get to like Lent, then Lent has exceptions to this rule because during the weekdays there's no Vespers,
Oh.
like at all. But anyways, I don't want to get into that now. Meshi? Everyone following me? Perfect. So now for the verses of symbols, what's important for us to know for verses of symbols and for general hymnology, you have two types of days. You need to know this like the back of your hand. Two types of days, like weekdays. You have Adam days and you have Watos days.
What are those for again? What did you say?
So types of days.
Okay.
Okay? What Adam and Watos have is that they have certain like hymns attached to them, and they also, in certain cases, they have a certain tune that's attached to them. Actually? So Adam and Watos can either refer to a day, a weekday, or it can refer to a tune. Again, Adam and Watos either refer to the day or they refer to the tune. Is that clear? So the Adam days are Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday are your Adam days. This you need to know like the back of your hand. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they're Watos days.
Can you, like, for Adam, so it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, those
Yes.
are Adams,
Yes.
and the rest of the week is...
Watos. Okay? Yes.
Why such a weird separation? Like,
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure of like the origins of like the split. But what is very clear is that, like I said, we have days, and then there's a lot of tunes that are assigned to each one. And even, like just to show you, and we'll get to this like a bit later, within the genius of the hymnology, the number of syllables in each tune differs. All of the Watos tunes have a certain number of syllables in their tunes, and the Adam have a certain number of syllables in their tunes.
And of course there
This is like
That's insane, actually.
something really like you would flip out. You know, like I'll give you a small example. You guys are very familiar with like the Sunday Psalm, right?
Yeah,
My Lord Jesus Christ, help me, right?
yeah.
How does it go?
That can be fun.
Mesh. I sought after you from the depth of my heart, right?
Yeah,
That's Adam, right? Because it's Sunday.
yeah,
It's an Adam tune.
okay.
So if you guys are familiar with Tasbihah, the way the paragraphs work, it's 4 lines. The tune is separated into 4 lines, right?
Yeah,
So line number 1, da 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 da, da 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 da. That's the second line. Da 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 da. Third line. Da 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 da. Fourth line, right? And that's how they're written.
and it keeps going like that.
It's always 4 lines, 4 lines, 4 lines. And even the Theotokeias are the same. Da 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 da, da na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na. 4 lines. All of the tunes.
Damn, I never noticed that.
And because this is why, like when if you're saying something that you never heard before, this is how we make up the tune. This is how I know when to speed up and when to stop. Because I know that, for example, this sentence has to fit in the first line of the tune. You understand?
Yeah.
Someone who's not familiar with this, you find them prolonging very much in the first line, but he's not aware that he still has 3 lines to go through and the tune is almost done. And he spent the 3 first lines of the tune on the first line of the words. You guys are smiling. I'm guessing you've been through this. You've made this mistake. But just to show you the genius behind the tune. You ready for this?
Yeah,
So, like I said, it's four lines, right?
Yeah.
The tunes have 4 lines. All of the Adam tunes, they have 5 syllables per line. And all of the Watos tunes have 7 syllables per line.
This is in all the languages?
Sorry?
Celtic and in English and...
No, not in words. Musical syllables.
Music,
Musical syllables.
Okay.
Ready for this? You guys ready? You ready for your minds to be blown? Da 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 da. What's Watos? You guys know the Psali of Saturday? Are you guys familiar with it? Da na 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 na. Oh my Lord Jesus Christ, my good Savior. That's Watos. Why? Because it's Saturday. Da 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 da. 7 syllables.
ظبطوها ازاي دي؟
ما تفهمش. Every single Adam tune is 5. Every single Watos tune is 7. You know what else is a Watos tune that maybe we don't pay attention to? Kiyak is coming up. The burning bush. That's actually the Mediha, or like the song that is following the Psali of Thursday during Kiyak. I'm going to get to that later. But just so you know that it's a Watos tune. How do you know? Da 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 da. 7. All of them are like this. Right? So all of your Adam tunes are like, in the tunes of the church, there are 5 syllables. All the Watos tunes are 7. So the Watos, they're longer. It's a longer tune with a longer music, like with longer musical sentences. The Adam is shorter. Meshi? This is in terms of, I'm giving you guys a feel of like the hymnology.
This is gonna make it so easy to like memorize hymns now. Like
no,
easier?
but it makes what it should make it easier. What it should make it easier is that when you come to, let's say a tune, say a psali or say a tamgid that like you've never said before.
You'll know when to like longer and when to go longer,
Yeah,
and shorter.
That's exactly it. You would at least know how the separation works, so you know what needs to fit in the first musical line. You understand? So you don't find yourself spending 3 musical lines on the first line of words, and then you have 3 words to fit into like nothing. Right? And then it's like you stumble. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, so every single like hymn is either Adam or Watos?
No, not every single hymn. But there's some hymns that have a Watos tune and some hymns that have an Adam tune.
Okay, so okay.
But it's not all the hymns that are classified. Like for example, the hymns of Good Friday, it's not like a Watos like hymns. It's just like Good Friday hymns. Right? The reason why I'm mentioning Adam and Watos here in verses of Cymbals is because the Watos have an introduction of their own for verses of Cymbals, and Adam have a different introduction. That's why it's important for you guys to know. Because you as the deacon, if you're coming and you're serving outside, well then you need to know which introduction it is. To know which introduction it is, you need to know which weekday it is. And knowing which weekday it is means you need to know, is it an Adam day or a Watos day? So what are the Adam days?
Sunday.
And then Watos?
All the rest.
Rest. Meshi? So what if I come to pray the Vespers of Sunday?
On Saturday.
Sorry?
You pray the Watos tune, no?
So this is one of the, yes. So Saturday and Vespers, you're still going to pray the Watos introduction.
Doesn't follow the...
No, not for verses of Cymbals. Not for verses of Cymbals. The verses of Cymbals, like when we say like the intro applies to the Adam and Watos days, it applies to the entire day. So the Matins and Vespers within the same day. So Saturday and Vespers, even though it's the Vespers of Sunday, you're going to say the Watos introduction, and then Sunday morning you're going to say the Adam introduction, because it's a transition day. You follow me?
Sorry, can you just say that last part again?
Yeah. So the Watos introduction applies to the entire Watos day, both Matins and Vespers. So that means Saturday night, which is a transition day between Watos and Adam.
You're still saying what?
You're still saying Watos in the introduction of verses of Cymbals, Saturday night, and then Sunday you're going to transition. Sunday morning you're going to in Matins you're going to transition into the Adam.
Got it.
Understood? Yes.
So what about like the these that are like overnight?
Yes.
For example, is it really like at 12 o'clock? Halas, we change the tune? Or
No,
is it-
you still apply the same concept.
Okay.
Vespers follows like the day like before if you want, and then Matins follows the day
Okay,
after.
perfect.
No matter what time it is, even if we're praying a liturgy, like even if you're praying, like I don't know, you're praying like Vespers at like 3 p.m. and then liturgy is like at 9 p.m.
Mhm.
Even if you're praying within one day, then follow the same convention. Okay? Yes.
Which is the 5, which is the 7 again?
5 is Adam, 7 is Watos. Mention?
Shorter one has shorter letters.
Yes. So that's why here I wanted to start with you guys with the Watos introduction. Right? So this would apply to Saturday night, right? Friday night, Thursday night, Wednesday night. Starts with this. And this is the annual one. I'm not going into like the occasional or like the feasts ones. I'm going to the annual ones. So the way we're going to do this, we're going to do it exactly like we teach hymns to the little kids. So we go through the lyrics, and then we ask you guys to repeat after me the words, make sure you have the right pronunciation, and then we take the tune line by line. Meshi? And I don't want to do like a full course on teaching Coptic, so what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to read the words as we learn the hymns. So it's going to be like Coptic on the go. Meshi? This is going to be fun. So, sorry, I know I'm like getting out of like the frame. So the first word is Kyrie eleison, Meshi? And then you have, I'm going to read them once, and then I'm going to like break it up, right? So you have ten u osht, e mefiot, ne mepshiri, Nempi ebnevma eth oweb, titereyes eth oweb, in omo usios. Meshi? Again. So you have 10, it actually looks like English, right? U, so you have this letter here, the epsilon, when it follows the O, it makes a U sound. Meshi? It makes a U sound. So it's kind of like in French, you have O, U. Exactly. So when it follows an O, consider it to be a U. Meshi? And then you have the omega for people who are studying math. So O. And then the little omega with the tail is SH. Meshi? So the first word, ten u osht, e mefiot. Mefiot. So basically, the jinken that you see, so the accent, it's as if in French you have like a accent grave before the letter, right? So instead of it becomes m, right? So e mefiot, nem epshiri, nem piet nevma, eth oweb. So you see here again the epsilon, when it follows the e, it turns into a v, right? And also if it follows like the alpha, it's also a V. So of or iv. So piet nevma eth oweb. Alright, and then you guys see that, oh yeah, sorry. No problem. So basically here eth oweb, this is like the abbreviation for it. Whenever you guys see like a couple of Coptic letters and then you have a line on top, that line means that it's an abbreviation. Okay? So this is the abbreviation for eth oweb. Titreyes, so Trinity. Titreyes, so you have like the row, like in math. it's an R. So titriyas, if awab, again the same abbreviation. N, because of the jinkin. O, mo, u, sios. ماشي?
But when we say in almost like we don't
Yes.
really say that.
Yes. And this is the beauty about you guys starting to learn how to read the hymn, because you're going to catch the millions of terrible pronunciations in the hymn. Right? We say en homosios.
Yeah.
Right? En homousios. It's understandable, like we're not gonna like destroy the hymn in order to get like to focus, but at least you understand the pronunciation. And a little side note about homousios. Homousios, if you guys are familiar with church history, this is the word that Saint Athanasius fought to the death to enforce. Because homousios means coessential, of the same essence. Right? His whole battle with Arius is that he was saying that the Son is of the same essence of the Father. Right?
Yeah.
So he was saying homousios. What Arius was saying is that he is similar to the Father in essence. Similar is homoiousios. So it was about the one letter. You understand? The whole fight was one letter.
The one letter that changed the entire meaning.
Changed the entire meaning. Actually, there's an opinion that says, this is why in Tasbihah they say, we call Christ the Yota. Because that was the whole difference. You understand?
So cool.
So, homoousios, one essence. Right? This is a very important word. It's like foundational and it has like ridiculous theological implications. Right? So that's the first paragraph. So I'm going to say it once, and then we're going to cut it up into words. Once you guys know the tune of the first paragraph, every single other paragraph is identical in tune. It's just different words.
This is Adam or Watos?
This is Watos,
Watos?
right? Ten uosh is the Watos.
Alright.
Meshi? So like I said, we may spend a lot of time on the first paragraph, but once the first paragraph is down packed, then the rest we're just changing words. Right? But it's going to be the exact same tune, and the separation, which you see with the colon here, the separation, this is what tells you the musical lines where they end. So you also learn, if you're saying a paragraph you've never said before, well then again you know where to split it off. You understand? We'll go through that. So I'm going to say it once, and then we'll break it up. Ready?
Alright.
Kyrie eleison ten osh tem fiot nem epshi irine empim nev matoeb tetrias et onweb nomosios. Meshi? Again, listen to it. I'll say just the first line. Kyrie eleison ten uosh em fio. Let's try just this. Ready? Kyrie eleison ten uosh em fio. Exactly. So the O has a bit of a tail. Kyrie eleison ten uosh em fio. You guys again, alone. Kyrie eleison ten uosh em fio. Perfect. But it doesn't end, like the T is not yet. There's still another tail to it. Again. Kyrie eleison ten uosh em fio. Perfect. Again. Kyrie eleison ten uosh em fio. Perfect. Meshi? You guys ready for more? Kyrie eleison ten uosh em fio ot nem epshi ten uosh em fio ot nem epshi. Again. Ten uosh em fio ot nem epshi. Right? So you guys saw where the first. Oh no, we're still at the first line. Again. Ten osh demevio nemepshi. Again. Kyrie eleison ten osh demevio nemepshi. Again. Kyrie eleison ten osh demevio nemepshi. Very good. Again. Kyrie eleison ten osh demevio nemepshi. Good. More. Again. Again. Kyrie eleison ten osh demevio nemepshi. Again. Kyrie eleison ten osh demevio nemepshi. Last time. Kyrie eleison ten osh demevio nemepshi. Irine, Irine. Again. Ten osh demevio nemepshi. Irine. Perfect. Again. Ten osh demevio nemepshi. So you guys saw where the first line ended, right? Pay attention to where the line ends musically. Because where the first line ends musically is where the first line is going to end at every single line. So for example, where Ibshiri ends musically is where Ecclesia is going to end in the second line, in the second paragraph. Just to show you what it means. Ten osh demefio nemepshiri. That's where it ended. Shereti Ecclesia ends at the same spot. So every first line is always going to end at the same spot musically. So if you're saying a paragraph that you've never said before, and you're like, it's like the feast of some saint that you've never heard of before, but the paragraph is there, well then even if you haven't prepared beforehand, although this is technically what should be done, but even if I don't have it prepared beforehand, at least I know where to end it. Where each line is going to end so that at the end, like it still flows. Meshi? Again, the first line. Kyrie eleison ten osh demevio nemepshi. Perfect. I know it's a bit, I ended up like an awkward spot. Listen. Ten osh demevio nemepshi. Irine empimne evmat onweb. The tune is very simple, and there isn't that much like music to it, right? It's very like a march. Kyrie eleison ten osh demevio nemepshi. Irine empimne evmat onweb. Again. Kyrie eleison ten osh demevio nemepshi. Irine empimne evmat onweb. How's that?
Good.
When it comes to learning hymns, and I'm asking you guys, and this is true for every single time I'm ever going to ask, is this okay? When I'm asking if you guys know it, or like, is this good? I'm asking, can you say it on your own? So if you guys are nodding like this, it means I'm assuming you can say it on your own. Remember, the vision of the entire course is to get you to a point where you can carry raising of incense on your own. That means if you're alone and there's no one else, you can say this while you're going around with Abuna, because he has no one else. Again. Kyrie eleison ten osh demevio mipshi irinem birnem masoeb. How's that? Good? Again?
Yeah.
You guys say it along. Kyrie eleison ten osh temevio nemepshi irinem birnem masoeb. Good? Tetreyes et oeben omosios. So it's kind of like you hit, then you repeat. Tetreyes et oeben omosios. Simple enough? It's like the same 3-syllable pattern, 4 times. Tetreyes et oeben omosios. Just that. Tetreyes et oeben omosios. Again. Tetreyes et oeben omosios. Again.
Tetreyes et oeben omosios.
Again. Tetreyes et oeben omosios. From the beginning. Kyrie eleison ten osh temevio nemipshi irinem birnem masoeb. Tetreyes et oeben omosios. Very good. Again. Kyrie eleison ten osh temevio nemipshi irinem birnem masoeb. Tetreyes et oeben omosios. How's that? You guys are good with it?
Yeah.
You're comfortable with the words?
Yep.
Mention the words are very important. Not just the understanding of the words is crucial, so that you're not just chanting, you are praying. Obviously, you guys know this already, right? And when you pray, then the people pray. If you're there to show off, the people are not praying. Meshi? Kyrie eleison ten osh temevio nemipshi